Hey, can you hear me, folks? Can you hear me well? Is it working? Hello. I'm sorry. I'm still on my laptop right now with the crappy webcam. I got stuck home for one extra week because I broke my car and I could not get back home and I had to wait a whole week. So hopefully the sound is okay. Hopefully everything is good. Let's get rid of my face. And let's go. So yeah, I was supposed to do the Artnest origin story today in terms of lives, but I want to do it while on my proper setup because there's a lot of stuff to show. So instead, this is a bit of a filler episode with portfolio reviews and such. So same formula as always. We got only 4 portfolios today, so I think then I'm going to answer your questions, folks, if you have some. And it might be quite a short session, actually. And I apologize for the delay, by the way. I was in touch in a call with someone that I keep secret for now, but he's a big OG in the art industry. and we are discussing some partnerships for the future. I'm going to talk about that a bit later, in a few weeks or a few months once it's settled. All right. So, portfolio reviews. Let's go. Same rule as always. Let me put those little questions so hopefully you can see it. Can the 3D team model your content without having to guess? Can you iterate easily with drastically different proposals? Does your work match the studios you are aiming at? What the studios you are aiming at are doing? And the portfolio UX and paging. Okay. Let me just grab Discord. And let me check a bit of context surrounding what has been written. Let's start with you, Gabriel. You sent me an email, which is rare. Generally, people apply directly. And no problem, I get your point, but at least you're getting a review, so that's pretty cool. So, I've already worked as a concept artist, but I can't disclose where yet due to certain circumstances. No problem. With some insight, I hope to strengthen my portfolio and receive more positive response from clients. I'm mostly aiming to get attention from AAA studios from NA, so North America. I really like Japanese studios like Square Enix and Kojima. So, same thing as I always say regarding Japanese studios like Kojima, From Software, Square Enix. Learn Japanese. There's no real choice around that. They are very culturally conservative, let's say. So you have to abide by their cultural rules. Okay. Big AAA studios, we would need to get a bit more context surrounding them. Is it Horizon Zero Dawn? Is it Call of Duty? We don't really know. So if you mind elaborating about a few studios, that would be great. I know you're in the chat, Gabriel. But as you are doing that, work in a title similar of Call of Duty. Great. So, what about the studios you are aiming at, though? That was the question. So the first thing is in terms of compatibility, as I was saying, in the videos about the portfolio guide and such, you need to make sure the studios you are aiming at, you have 5 or 6 of them, you are doing similar stuff, and you are making an average of what they do. Right now, as it's mostly the case with a lot of portfolios I'm reviewing, it's a bit all over the place. You know to draw very well. This is rare to see some pencil drawing like that, and those are beautiful. I like it. This is very elegant. I mean, this is like digital pencil, I guess, but still, this is beautiful. Like this drawing is pretty cool. It feels like Alita, but as a reskin mixed with Horizon Zero Dawn, so I like it. I mean, you know to draw, so you should probably utilize that a bit more, I think. Work with Guerrilla. Okay, let's see. Let's think Guerrilla Games, character, mood visuals, and such. All that crew. So, look at what they do. Look at what they do on like Horizon Zero Dawn and such. Try to analyze the codes that they are using. I showcased it in some previous lives, so feel free to have a look. But you will have to ask yourself, okay, what you're doing right there, is it something that they are likely to be doing in terms of style, in terms of art direction, in terms of process, in terms of all of that? Once you have that, you're going to analyze the work of the artist working there to confirm that art direction, actually to study that, but also to make sure you can close the technical gap with what they do. In terms of technique, this is pretty good. When I see this, you know how to draw, and actually I would advise you to draw a bit more. Maybe not for hard surface, we're going to talk about that just after, but overall, when you know how to draw like that, or like this, you want to show it because it's becoming increasingly rarer and rarer in the industry to get people who knows how to draw. Most people, they are just kid bashing shit and just doing ugly 3D, and they have no fundamentals, so it's not what the industry requires. So that will be the first thing. Second thing, in terms of content now. So, as I was saying in the questions, every work that you show, right there. You need to make sure the 3D team can grab it, model it, texture it, animate it, rig it, do the VFX, do everything that is required about it. The problem with that is right there, you are just sending them a 3D model. You are not giving them that much information regarding the materials, regarding the textures to use, regarding the patterns, the SVGs, how those doors open, how it works, what's the mechanism, how do you reload that weapon. So you need as many breakdowns as you can to explain the functionality. Let me show you some examples. Let me just open my Obsidian. Let me just grab a document. Give me a second. This is from the preparatory module. I think I shared it recently in the Teams Knowledge channel on the Discord. This is a little gift of appreciation that I sent to you guys because of the boost that we got recently. Let me share those. Here we go. So the pipeline, it wants to load. You want to do a bit more callouts. See? This is for characters, bear with me, but this is an example on how you will do callouts for materials. You isolate what is what, etc. You can show some references for the shader artists to know how everything should be shaded properly. The patterns, the stickers, all of that, you can export them as SVG. This way you can import them directly. Explaining how things work, you see, with all those mechanisms. So for the doors, for how the cannon rotates, all of that, that would be great. Even on stuff as trivial as that, someone is still going to have to animate that. So it's very important to have this kind of stuff. You can show some potential VFX depending on what you want to do. This is for League of Legends right there, but you could adapt them to what you do. But this is the kind of stuff that would be important. And also for vehicles, it's fine to work in 3D. That's totally fine. You don't have to do a turnaround. But I would like you to start painting on top of it in order to break the 3D aspect and break this kind of brand new aspects. Right now, it's just a flat shader, edge detection to do a bit of edge wear, but it's not abiding by the rules of weathering. You look at buggy in mud, tank in mud. Look at how the mud works right there. How the dirt kind of settles on things and such. This is the kind of stuff you want to show, to tell the story of that thing. It's not brand new, it's not straight out of the factory. It went through something. Let me show you the work of Marnix, for example. Marnix, who is swimming in jobs at the moment. It's not fully brand new. You still have a bit of weathering, some stains, some scratches here and there. I think he's a bit more heavy on the weathering now. You see you have dirt right there. You have some stuff. You look at Wolfenstein. The helicopter. Don't remember how it's called. It's not a concept, it's a 3D model, but you see you have tons of dirt, bullet impact, graffitis right there, you have tons of damage. See that paneling right there? That's the kind of textures you want to give, because someone will have to do those. So that's the kind of stuff you have to show. You have to tell the story of what happened to that ship through its texture and all of that. Make sense? And then explaining how things work, of course, with the cannons and such. Okay? So that's mostly for hard surface. In addition to that, I would like to see variations. Because right now you are kind of imposing one design, but I would like to see those drastically different proposals. I don't have examples of those for hard surface. Yes, I have actually. Let me grab those. Little selection. Environment. What is the work of Chris? Where is it? Things like that. You want to propose drastically different proposals, okay? Just to show you can iterate. Because right now the first question is, can you draw? Yes. Can you design? Technically, yes, but you cannot provide them with iteration. And then can you solve problem for the production? In no specific order, by the way. So that's the 3 boxes you have to tick, and that's those that are at the top left of the screen right now, as a reminder. So that's for vehicles. Showing modular parts, modular kits for the different weapons, so they could be interchangeable, for example, that would be great. Or they shoot the 2D VFX, etc. That's great. So yeah, paint on top of that. For characters now. I'm not the biggest fan of a full 3D character. That's not really your job. You want to paint on top, or you want to have something more like this. Right there for characters, it's going to be the same. You have the same pose. It's only texture design change right there, but you are not showcasing different costumes, different poses, different attitude, different haircuts, different body shapes. You look, for example, at Michael. I'm always constantly picking the same examples, so those who have seen portfolio reviews a few times might think I'm rambling like an old grandpa, and I am a bit. But right there, those are some crewmates, and right there, those are drastically different proposals for crewmate. Imagine that like a casting. Everyone is there with their own costume. They have to craft it. You have a bunch of different actors. None of them look the same. They could all fit. You see right there, all of those are very drastic, different poses, different costume. Nothing is in common. We narrow it down towards this captain with this kind of parasitic seashells. And once you settle on the design, that's when you do the turnaround, the props, the callouts, the equipment, the dynamic poses, etc. So this is to showcase your design. This is to help the 3D team model and texture things. This is for the animation. This is for gameplay. Those are props to model those things, etc. Makes sense? So you see, if I'm getting back to the process right there, explain how things work, the textures, the turnaround, front view, back view, side view, it's indispensable if you want to model things. Showcasing weapons, that's a lot of weapons right there. You don't have to design a zillion like that, but those are amazing for Baldur's Gate. Turnaround without the cloak. If there is something obtrusive right there, you hide it. Same with the hood right here. Showcasing variation, modularity right there with those different heads. That's the kind of stuff you want to show. Good. Regarding technique, it's quite good. I don't have much more to say regarding the technique. This is readable, so you don't have to focus too much on that. Maybe get stuff to be slightly more glossy, but you're already doing silky hair, so that's okay. And you can definitely flex a bit of drawing. Like a traditional drawing like that, I don't mind. Sketches like that, those are beautiful to show. Kind of reminds me of Luca, who got hired. I think he got hired at Volta. He got other gigs. I think Ray and another studio. I don't remember which one. Let me grab his work. Where is it? Yeah, you see for callout sheets, things like that with materials. Where's the work of Luca? Oh, crap, where is it? Where are those? Initial sketches like that, really selling different costume, different body shape, different attitude, different personality, and then slightly more polished like that. If you Luca knows how to draw extremely well, and stuff like that, you can definitely flex it. Sounds good. For example, that has a fast walk. They are all from the same project. They will look better together. Yes. Yes. Yeah, there are 50 different Lucas in the mentorship. So yeah, it's a bit tough to find. Exactly. Makes sense for you, Gabriel? Last thing. Right now we have some creatures, we have some characters, we have some aliens, we have some vehicles. Maybe narrowing down to one or two things only, maybe characters and vehicles. That would be better, because again, it's a bit all over the place, and when they see that, only a fraction of what you do might be relevant to what they do. Sounds good? I did that as a yes. Next, Isabella from Italy. Let me see if there is a bit of context. Junior concept artist, mainly working as a freelancer for indie studios with a background in fine art. I've attended a couple of design courses on CGMA. But aside from that, I'm mainly self-taught. I'm a big fan of the fantasy genre, and I would love to work on games with a realistic style like Baldur's Gate, The Witcher, Assassin's Creed. I like to create more interesting environment, but I think I'm still lacking something in terms of design. Let's have a look. So to me, the first thing that stands out is that you get it. You're doing some call-out sheets. So you are helping the production. You are doing some different layouts. I would like them to be slightly more pushed because it's still a bit basic right there and it's hard to read. So I think I showcased the work of Gael a zillion times, but it's still working very well. Where is it? Whatever. Different layouts like this. That would be great. This is readable right there. This is a bit dense in terms of information, but if you zoom on this, it makes sense. Pretty nice. Right here, what I can say is that it's still very visible that you are using 3D and photos and painting on top. And if you are doing realistic, those kind of brush smears, avoid them. Be fully realistic. Do not be in this kind of weird in between. My advice would be to conceal the 3D and the photo as much as you can. That's what I say constantly to the mentees, is that whatever techniques you are using, we should not be able to dissociate what has been made in 2D, 3D, photo bashing, etc. Everything needs to feel very uniform. Right there, we still sense the 3D stiffness. It's a bit on the grid. Let me open Photoshop. You have a bit of a contrast issue right there. You see in black and white, it's not very contrasted. And you see there's a lot of detail density everywhere. And that's the problem when you are doing realistic stuff, is that you are tempted to detail that. You see how detailed that part is? Right here. Nobody cares about that part. It's outside of the design, so suggest it. If it's important, detail it. If it's not, don't detail it, because right there, it's hogging the spotlight. You want to tame the amount of detail, and you want to be a bit more soft, kind of like this stone. And you might render it on a different picture or show photo references. If you over-render everything for realism and interior design, it's going to be too busy. It's going to be hard to notice. I'm sorry, Gael. I'm always showing your work. You see right there? He's still doing super realistic stuff with those. Or those. Or those. Or those. Or those. But this is for the sake of being readable. This is very, very important. I'll try to think a bit more about the story. What is it special? What's the selling point of that thing? is the entrance to the catacombs. Maybe there's a curse, or maybe what makes it special? To me, it feels a bit like we pick up references, we turned it into 3D. That's one level, but you want to be a bit deeper than that. It's a post that I shared on LinkedIn this morning. Let me read it to you. There we go, that one. Oh my god, that shit is going viral. Oh my god. I did not notice that. So, yeah, how does it look? That's like the first level of understanding. You need to see that like an iceberg. So, I'm always showing everything like an iceberg. So right there, this is how does it look. Engaging the senses. I think I have that picture somewhere. There we go. This one. How does it look in rendering? That's like the basic level. But what you want is engaging the senses, storytelling, functionality, and most importantly, gameplay. How does it play? Which type of game are you designing for? Right there, I don't really know. And I would like to know the gameplay opportunities. You see, you have a rifle right there. You have a secret passage. I would like to understand which type of game it is. So maybe making like a fake screenshot will actually be pretty cool to give context rather than a keyframe. You did a keyframe right there. Imagine if it was a fake screenshot instead. If UI, some slight gameplay element, we will understand which type of game is it. Because if it's an FPS, you don't design it the same way you design a click and point. A point and click, sorry. You see right there in terms of design, it's a bunch of photos stuck together, but we need to go a bit beyond that. I hope it doesn't come as disrespectful. That's not the intention, but we need to go beyond the photos. Like, what makes it special? Why does that justify a concept artist rather than just giving those 3 photos, splashing them together and giving that to the 3D team being like, okay, model that. We need to create something that is a bit out of the ordinary. You need to think about a setting point for that. Maybe there's a mechanism, a secret passage with that thing that you're going to show. In that case, that's where you're going to bring a lot of value. It's by diving into those deeper levels of design. Storytelling, engaging the senses. How does that smell? How does it touch? If it was starting to be a bit gloomy and glossy, you have some weird black tar somewhere because there is a curse, something like that. Okay, it's engaging the touch. It's rotten somewhere, it's going to engage the smell. It's dripping wet, and it's you have some water, you have some fungi. It's going to engage the touch, you know. Those things, you can make a lot of puzzles. We need to understand why. What are those? What does that mean? Broken shackles. Okay, why? What's the story? Is it a demon that has been imprisoned there and broke their shackles and is creating a cult, something like this? I mean, for production, it works. Depending on the type of game, it can work. It's just if you want to go beyond. See right there again, the level of detail? Right here, it's very dense. Try to remove the level of detail. Use some smart blur filters or anything, or a bit of painting on top to remove that level of detail, okay? Why it's important, right there, we don't know what to look at, and naturally we default to the most detailed parts. So what's the setting point? Let's imagine this is the setting point and these are the setting points. In that case, let's have those being the most detailed. The rest needs to be secondary. Oh my god, yeah, I used the word cult. Oh no. You don't have the seagull miniatures on your profile on YouTube, guys. Oh, and there is a Yuda Chris who is having it. Oh my god. Nice textures. Something you can do is also think in terms of modular kits. What are the modular parts for that environment that you could isolate and showcase? Great. So to me, right now you're already solving the how to have the 3D team. This is great. This is really great. And no wonder you're already working a bit. This is amazing right there. I really like those. And now you're thinking about circulation and gameplay. Those are great. Those ones. Oh, so that's the Atom Hawk context. Pretty nice. I would like to understand how that things work. What's the selling point? What's the function? Why? It's always this kind of why question. Always ask yourself what kind of game is it for and what's the gameplay. Why would that be interesting? I hope it does not sound as patronizing or mean. That's not at all. It's just a case study right there. It's really how does that play. You're right there. That's something I say to the mentees all the time when they are pitching me something. It's like, why would anyone give a crap about that? I'm trying to remain polite. I'm saying it in a way more blunt way than that. But why would people care about that? Why would that be interesting? Why would that make a good game? Would you play that? If so, why? Think about the selling points. We are entertainers. We need to answer that question, like, why is it fun? Why is it entertaining? By fun, I do not mean something to make you laugh, but just something that is captivating. You're thinking about story already, so that's pretty cool. If I had to summarize what to do, I would pick a subject that would allow for a bit more fantasy. Right now, it's extremely grounded, a bit too much. Pick something slightly more fantasy, as I was saying. We're going to make a live at some point, how to find a good portfolio subject, and we're going to brainstorm in real time about those. But it's really pick a subject that is grounded, add a twist that changes the rules of the world. Like French Revolution, but with magic replacing gunpowder. Three Musketeers, but they are spies in 90s Swedish Chicago instead of Renaissance. Things like that. You're going to bring a twist, you're going to bring it to something unexpected, you're going to have a weird mix that is going to be a bit better. Have a look at that FZD. Look at that video from Fengzu. It's called Form Follows Function. This one. This is how to find a good portfolio subject. Finding a good twist. You know how to draw, so you don't have to photo bash in 3D everything. You can definitely draw a bit more. I guess there's a small 3D base, but you draw on top. This is very valuable right there. So you should definitely draw a bit more, especially for the early stage. Once you have the subject, iterations. Right now, it's mainly the final results. I would like to see more drastically different proposals that are a bit more polished than that. Good. Very good. Those walls pretty good. Those layouts, I will focus on the Fengzu's video number 109 to break this kind of square and basic aspect, making them a bit more complex. But yeah, no wonder you're working. This is already pretty good. Very mentorship ready. But very job ready too. So that's how you're going to level up to the next stage of your career. It's by now that you have the production friendly stuff, it's really about flexing your design skills. So you see, folks, that's an interesting case study because not everyone is focusing on the same thing. In the case of Isabella, right there, it's more on functionality, which is very rare. And now we have to focus a bit more on design, which is not the hardest thing to do, in my opinion. Most people, they tend to be in some sort of design, no functionality for the 3D team, and design is still a bit shallow. So not everyone is focusing on the same. I think a portfolio like that is probably one of the easiest to solve because the production friendliness is what is the most time consuming and energy consuming to learn. So for anyone watching that video, the earlier you think in terms of 3D production, the better it is. And if you are in the Discord, quick shout out. Where is it? You check that channel, Teams Knowledge. Have a look at that first post. There's a video called The Pipeline Explained. It's from the preparatory module and you can watch it and it's going to explain to you what to think about when trying to help the production. Okay? Let me share it in the chat. Bookmark that for later. I'm going to watch it after the stream. That's totally fine. It's a little gift. Okay? Music. Holy shit, he's going to see Imminence. Motherfucker. I envy you. I want to see that band too. Next walk. Maxime Picard. Bonjour mon ami from Quebec. This is a very French Canadian name. So, yeah, super good live. Yeah, I know that Imminence is amazing live. This is one of my favorite bands. I love them so much. The Black is definitely my favorite album of last year. No question asked about it. The Black is so freaking good. So, Maxime, you've been lurking around for a long time, I think. I don't remember if you applied to the mentorship. I think you did. But I can clearly see a big level up already. This is pretty nice. So let me just grab the preparatory module. Nope. There are way too many channels on the Discord. I need to fix that. Aspiring concept artist based in Montreal. I have a background in illustration and I'm currently finishing university in 3D animation for video games. I'm passionate by games like God of War 2018 or Horizon Zero Dawn. I'm aiming at a character design job in AAA studios or medium studios. I feel like I'm missing a few props pieces to accompany my character. I would like more fleshed out sci-fi pieces. So, as I was saying, sci-fi, be very careful about it as a junior. It's extremely hard to break into the industry as a sci-fi artist. So be careful about that. Sci-fi, it's more for senior. So right now, there's a bit of everything. We have some stuff that are a bit more fantasy. We have some stuff that are a bit more sci-fi. In terms of style, I think it's this kind of uncanny valley between photo and painting. So I'm still a bit not knowing that much what you want to do. Do you want to do stylized? Do you want to do realistic? I don't really know yet. So what is going to be important is to focus a bit more on the rendering. Rendering, always the same three things. Very good. Oh, you have seen the work of Sung. Very good. Breakdowns. Okay. You've been there for a long time. We can see that. So you start to understand how production works. Very good. Very good. Nice. Okay. So I'm not going to talk too much about the production friendliness. This is fine. You start to get it. Do we have the turnaround? It would be nice to have a turnaround front view, back view, side view. what you can do is render that front view and then have the side view and back view in A pose. So, first thing, as always, the subject. 5 or 6 companies that are accessible, you make the average, you commit to that. Rendering. Right now, the lighting is very soft and diffuse. I would make it a bit sharper. I would have a bit more ambient occlusion, and I would get some materials to be slightly more glossy to have more separation. Because right now, when we see that character in black and white, when in doubt, always check in black and white. There's not that much contrast. You see the lack of contrast right here? From the distance right there, it's hard to see. Same right here, it's the same value. So check the values always, 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 and ambient occlusion, and also ambient occlusion and also material separation is going to help you with separation. I stopped talking about the holy trinity of rendering to the Mantis. I made a video about that in the preparatory module because I'm so tired of repeating myself a zillion times. But for the public portfolio review, some people don't have access to the preparatory module, so that's why we need to talk about that. Okay. Second thing, not the biggest fan of masks, because they're going to be like, hey, are you designing a mask on purpose, or is it because you are too lazy or a bit afraid to design faces? You want to avoid that. You want to prove that you can design those faces. Second thing, functionality. How can you flex your body with a stained glass owl? It's not going to be very friendly regarding animation, I think. So I would be careful about that. We can suspend the disbelief up to a certain degree, but right there, that's maybe a bit too much. Another thing is that your foldings right here, grab some references when you are doing folds because it's a bit wobbly, it's a bit too smooth. This one is better. Right there, you will really benefit from lighting because it feels a bit flat and we are losing the volumes of the chest. It really feels like a flat texture projected on the body right now. The texture suggestion right there is great. I like it a lot. For the designs, especially for the early pre-prod research, that's a bit redundant. Just say early research. Do not design in symmetry. Symmetry is boring for characters. I know you broke it with the costume, but it's always the same. I'm always showing that one. You want to design your character in pose because you are setting the personality and the gameplay at the same time. Okay? That's the first thing you need to set. You need the art director to agree on the personality and the gameplay. And the problem of a pose like that is that it's neutral. And because it's neutral, there's no personality in it. And no gameplay. It's idle. Those a pose, you do it later once you have settled on the main design, to do the turnaround and to tell the 3D team how does it look. You start with dynamic poses. Maybe not dynamic, but somewhat personality conveying poses. Okay? Very important. So, that's the thing you have to think about. That's a lot of iteration right there in black and white. I would like to see them more in color with the materials and again in perspective if possible. Right there, it's a bit easy to do in perspective and they're going to ask themselves, okay, do you know how to draw in perspective? That's the first question they're going to ask themselves. Turnaround, rendering, dynamic poses. We have the variations right there. Variations with different body shapes, as I was saying before. Very important. And we should be somewhat good. I would advise you for characters, for anyone doing character, do effect screenshots as fast as you can. This way you're going to see if the character works or not. What type of game are you designing for? Is it a third-person game, like Horizon or The Witcher? In that case, the back of the character is going to be as important as the front. In that case, you will have to think about what do you have in the back. You look at the Witcher 3 screenshot. You look at the back of the Witcher. This is so fucking smart. This is literally what you're going to see 90% of the time. Guess what? You see your beautiful loot, your beautiful hard-earned gear all the time. Sometimes you see the trophies with the head of that beast right here, dangling all the time, to constantly remind you, hey, those things that you grinded for, they are beautiful and you can admire them. The back view of a character in a third-person game is so fucking important. This is what you're going to see most of the time. You design for a first-person shooter? Yeah, Dead Space with the HUD health bar. Exactly. Very, very good. We're going to see that just after. But Overwatch, screenshot. I'm sorry if you hear some background noise. The most important thing in a first-person shooter is the hands and forearms and the weapons. Because this is what you're going to see all the time. And the second most important thing, it's the head, because that's where you need to click. That's all. It always creates this kind of triangle. And if the game is well done, you should not even need the cross. You could already aim. And I remember some very, very good Tracer player in Overwatch who were playing without a visor. They were very instinctive and they were extremely, extremely good. Okay? Super important. See also on the hands, you see the HUD right there. If it was on the side, it would be some extra information and you would need even more peripheral vision. Right there, it's on both sides. I know that for characters, for other characters, it's not always the case. You pick Soldier, okay? I think this is Zarya, whatever. It's been a while. At least you have the most important things, which is your abilities. And you're going to have that diegetic thing telling you when the Graviton is ready. Or when the shield of Zarya is ready, sorry. It's been a while. Okay? You want to save some space, okay? Very, very important. Yeah, the little charms. I think that's new, that's in Overwatch too. Just like they do in Valorant. This is like a buy my shit at the cash shop. But yeah, that's it. So very important to think about what type of game you are designing for, because the things are not going to be important the same way. And you want the weapon to be an extension of the character. That weapon from Junkrat, you see the personality. Okay? What kind of problem are you trying to solve with those? Think about that. This is to justify the inventory. Those are the potions. Okay, can the character heal? If that's the case, you need to have potions in every proposals. Try to think about the functionality of the character. What kind of character is that? What's the gameplay? What's the abilities? Then you design around that. That's the first question you need to ask yourself. Everyone, go watch my latest LinkedIn post. I'm going to share it a bit later on Discord. Just after the stream, I'm sharing it. But go watch it. And speaking of which, I don't know if the people who did that are here. But genuine question, this is not to be arrogant with you guys. When I posted in the suggestions, where is it? Fuck. Live suggestion. Those who say no to this one, or even when I say the Art Nest origin story, who is interested, those who say no, which are always the same, I'm genuinely curious. Tell me what you want to watch, guys. What do you think is missing? I want to know. What will get your interest? This is me throwing you a bottle right now. I want to know. I think we are already delivering a lot of stuff, but maybe I'm missing something. In that case, feel free to suggest it. Those who say no, who are not interested in daily posts, who are not interested in knowing how we arrived where we are right now and what is planned for the future. What are you doing here? Tell me what you are expecting. I'm genuinely curious. Sci-fi is the same rules, except that in addition to that, you have to be extremely rigorous with functionality. Oh, you're already following everything produced? Okay, that would be redundant. Makes sense. But I'm curious for the others. The semi-haters. I see some of you. I won't say name, but I see the semi-haters who have been complaining a lot. I want to know. Haters, you are the best source of feedback. I need to make a video one day on how to deal with haters, but haters, they are your biggest source of feedback, and they are your best content generating buddies. All right. Why as then just make it? No, that's just a question. So yeah. Functionality. And let's talk about rig, okay? Let's talk about rigging. That thing. How do you bend it? When the character is going to bend their arms and rotate it, can that thing move? Same with that shoulder pad that is that close to the body. What if the guy wants to lift the arm and do an Elon Musk, you know? It's an anti-Elon Musk shoulder pad right there. Hello, Chris. We talked about you with Marnix earlier today. Marnix, I think, is about to recommend you for a job. Joke aside, putting the controversies surrounding Musk aside, that shoulder pad is not functional. For anyone doing character design, just try to pose like your character. Right now it's okay, it's some sort of idle pose, but sometimes I see super stiff arms with crazy pose holding swords like anime characters. It might be badass in anime. Try to take the pose and hold it for 30 seconds. If it's painful, it's probably not a good idea to pose the character like that. So when you design a character, always put yourself in the shoes of it. I would say grab some duct tape. Duct tape, do something looking like that shoulder pad on your shoulder to see if it's working. Right there. You want to bend that arm? How do you do with all those cables? You want to bend those legs with those big things? How do you do? Can you kneel right there? I'm not sure. Can that thing rotate under this kind of greave right there to allow for the arm to move? I don't know. You need to be very careful about functionality. This is super important. Because someone is going to have to rig it and animate that. And art directors, they are paid to see this kind of stuff. So always think about, can you bend it? Can you bend it? Can you bend it? Can you bend it? Is it going to create collisions? If yes, problems. If no, good. Another example typical of rigging issues. The elbow is right there. When you're going to bend, it's going to bend that thing right here. You want that thing to end before the elbow. So when you bend it, only the forearm bends. Same right here for the knees. The knees are there. You generally want to tie it up before the knees so you don't have some baggy stuff right here. With collisions, you're going to have simulation on that thing. It's going to collide on that thing. Sometimes it's going to clip through it. It's going to look like this. Permeating through it. You see it in a lot of games. So maybe you want that pouch to be somewhere else. Or maybe you want that thing to be somewhere else. Points of details. What are the important things you want to show? What are the important things you want to see? Because right there, everything is detailed. I don't know where to look at. Do I need to look at there? Do I need to look at there? I don't know. 1, 2, 3. What is the main point of interest? Probably the face. What is the second point of interest? Probably the staff. What is the third point of interest? Probably there or the waist. Let's do this one. All the rest, you make it less cluttered. That's how you have a readable character and a proper hierarchy. 1, 2, 3. Okay? Otherwise, it's going to be cluttered. That part is very cluttered. Why? Again, mentorship friendly, probably. That's the notation. Like if it's mentorship friendly, it means that you are pretty close, okay? Right there, functionality, no. I do not suspend my disbelief in that. It's like the Amber armor from Oblivion. That thing needs to flex. That thing needs to move. Let's think about rigging again. How do you rotate that thing? It's very weird right here. Right there, this is good. Right here, the knee is just right here, and you put the rope just on it. Either the rope ends before the knee, or it's substantially after the knee, but not on the knee. Otherwise, it's going to collide. It's going to be tougher on a simulation standpoint. Also, super baggy clothes like that, risky. If you already wore baggy clothes like that, you know it's impractical. I will break the symmetry a bit. This is too symmetrical right there. I would change that armor. Right there, this is very busy. I would tame the level of detail. And we get the level of rendering to be the same. Right there, it's a photo. Right there, it's painted. Right there, it's line drawn. It's 3 different styles. That weapon, I know it's a game, but this might hurt like a motherfucker in real life if you hit with that thing. The handle is too shallow. And the tang, oof, you're going to absorb all the vibrations in your hand. It's going to destroy your hands. Careful about that. Okay? And yeah, there are some little spots. This is going to hurt your hand like crazy. That's it. Next and last person. Ronald. Give me a sec. Did you share it in private? I'm interested. Oh, it's not me. Ronald. Okay, let's have a look. Let me grab what you wrote. Where is it? Fuck, where is it? Aspiring concept artist striving to work for video games and also VizDev for animated shows. You will have to make a choice because they do not require exactly the same thing. I was in a call with someone potentially interested in the mentorship that I politely declined because she wanted to do animation. I'm not an expert about that. So I prefer to focus on games and potentially feature films. And she was a bit torn. It was like, hey, you need to make a choice because it's hard to have a portfolio that fits both. Invincible, The Avatar, Boondocks, Starlight Adventure games. I think my portfolio needs more design. 2/3 of my project take place in the real world, so I'm finding it difficult to create design problems sort of visually. We need to make subject finding live. It's on my list. The TLDR, pick an existing trope and make just give me a sec, please. Sorry about that. So yeah, you will have to choose. Could work on technique more. Yeah, we talked about technique. That's a lot of things right there. So visually, it's nice. We still feel the yeah, I was about to say 3D or lasso tool. This is a bit too polygonal right there. I would conceal that a bit more. This is a bit too blocky, in my opinion. We can really sense the 3D. It's very stiff. You need to break it a bit more. This is a bit... This is not very credible in terms of mess. It's a bit scattered too evenly, in my opinion. We have a bit of rhythmic issues. You see, the size and the distance between those things is kind of the same. It's kind of the same distance all the time, rhythmically speaking. Feels like there's only... You see the small ones, they are all the same size. I know it's the sticky notes. And right here, you see it's kind of scattered evenly. Generally, when you spread some mess, let's say this is the top view of a desk, okay? This is where a human will be, and drawing with a mouse. Okay, let's say you have a computer screen right here. That area right here. What is the bucket fill? That area is going to be relatively clean. And then all the mess is going to be pushed kind of radially around. And the big stuff is going to hold the small stuff. Okay? It's going to be this kind of area where you push radially. Make sense? So when I see things like that, it's like... Generally, even if you are messy, it needs to be radially towards something, around something. Okay? I would like to know a bit more about the personality of the person. He's trained Kung Fu, Chinese Dragon, collecting katana. It looks like your typical Genshin Impact player. So, those trophies, what are they for? Maybe they need to be closer to the Bruce Lee or Jet Li, I don't remember. Yeah. How can you blend martial art and that thing? There's a bit too many information. You have the martial art, astrology. It's like a cool person, detective, trophies. We have a bit of everything. It's a bit too much, I think. And right there, you see, it's just a glorified 3D render. You did the render, put line on top, remove the level of detail. That's it. You need to go beyond that. You really need to regain control over 3D to not look like a slave of 3D. It's very important. Right there, as I'm saying all the time, you need to make sure, especially if it's for VizDev, you know, it's very stylized. It's like Into the Spider-Verse. You need to paint on top of that. You want to make sure that what has been made in 3D, 2D, or photos or anything else is unnoticeable from each other. It's blended seamlessly. Super important. Same thing right here. Same things. And you know how to render. Flash rendering is kind of cool. Kind of good. Even right here, this is kind of good. For the characters, it's very similar to what I say. I was about to say this is a no-no, but you are showing the characters underneath. You're showing a breakdown of the clothing, so this is very good. This is still very anime-inspired. Nothing against anime, it's just that the market might not want that all the time, so be careful about that. There's a bit of a stigma against people doing anime, unless you really, really want to commit to that. Look at the concept art for Square Enix, for example. That kind of stuff, but this is very advanced anime type of work. I removed the submission. The channel is not accessible, but I will reopen it later. So feel free to join the Discord. And next time I'm doing portfolio submission, you will submit yours, Malik. Right there. Okay. What's the gameplay? What's the story? What's the selling point? It feels a bit mobile game-ish right now. Because you see it's very tidy. You have one model of each. It feels like something you will tap on your screen to buy it. Like you see, this is the different types of gear you have in a martial arts store. You have tons of different models. Tons of different stuff. Tons of different models, etc. That's what I would like to see. A bit more exhaustive, a bit more chaotic, a bit more messy. Not just one thing. Give me a sec, please. Sorry about that. For environment, it's the same. Look at Fengzu's video 109. That one, design breakdown. You're going to know everything you need. It's that thing right here you can get. You follow that, you cannot go wrong on your design. Let me do it. See? Removing the blocky shape, it's still very square-ish. We could add some diagonals, some cylindrical nuke, things like this. Foundations, you see, it's monodimensional. We do not see the volumes right there. It would be nice to see the extrusion on those things, other than just the texture that has been stuck to the 3D base. Could have visited portfolios to apply to mobile games? Kinda. I'm not an expert about mobile game because unless you work for King or Supercell, this is not where you're going to get the most money. So I think mobile games is a bit of a trap for a lot of people. They start there because it's accessible. They stuck themselves for 5 to 10 years in it, and when they lose the job, they realize that they have been the only artist at the team for years and years. They got nobody to mentor you. They were the most intelligent artist in the room, which means that you are in the wrong room because you stop growing. And when you lose your job and you have to find another one, you realize how much you have been lagging behind in terms of technique. So be careful about that unless you work for Clash of Clans. The mobile game tends to be a trap, in my opinion. Just a subjective opinion. You see right there, breaking up the shape right there using XYZ elevation. Right there, we don't have that much elevation. We have just one stair. It would be nice to have a bit more. Rewarding exploration. We enter here. I would like to see maybe another room right here. Access to another place. Oh, okay, we enter by here. Mark the entrance in that case. Exploration is kind of okay. Human factor and life support. Right there, this is food. Where do you eat? Where are the plates? Where can people eat? I don't know. We would need a few tables at least. Where do people can try those things? There's no dummies right now. We need some dummies probably. Lighting, kind of okay. It's a very unconventional type of lighting right there from below. That's fine. Different materials, we have it. Animation and sound, we don't have it. Maybe a cat, some windows, some stuff moving. This would move probably a bit. Personal detail, we need to know the personality of those guys. Some decoration and such. Right now it looks a bit empty, you know? Look at that video from Pexo, it's going to explain that very well. We talked about perspective shot. We need a lot of props that are a bit more exhaustive right here. That's important. Give me a sec, please. All right. Sorry. So yeah, those chests, it's kind of the same shape. Trying to have drastically different shapes, drastically different forms, proportions, because otherwise it's just a reskin of the same placeholder. You want to be as drastically different as possible. I have hiccup now, I love it. You want to be as drastically different as possible in your elements, okay? Very important. Those poses are kind of okay. It feels a bit like a 3D base underneath. I'm not sure, but it's a bit weird. So yeah, it's going to depend, and also make sure to check if the studios you are aiming at they want generalists, or else if they want specialists. If they want specialists, commit to only one thing. If they want generalists, in that case, yeah, commit to both. But you need to play to your strength. This guy aren't finished, but they are 2 years old. There's also something you need to be careful about, is that if this is what you are presenting as your portfolio and that thing is unfinished, maybe do not show it. Only show your best work. Your portfolio is only as good as your worst piece. So you need to curate what you share. And what you can do is create an album. You create an album called Portfolio and another one called Old Work. And you send the link towards Portfolio. Oh, those were hidden. Okay, my bad. We can sense it's painted over some sort of 3D right now. There's a bit of a filter right there. They are done with Magic Poser on the iPad. You are doing character design. Do not use 3D for posing. Pose it yourself. It's always going to be stiff in 3D. That will be it. For environment, more props, as I was saying, more function. Try to get a subject that is a bit more design heavy, let's say. And commit to one type of project, one type of style, etc. To not have this kind of jack of all trade, one size fits none type of style. Those are kind of nice. Those are studies, but those are kind of nice. That will be it. All right. I have 10 more minutes. Any question, folks? In the meantime, that's pretty much it. That's it. Kind reminder about April's class. As I was tagging you yesterday. We are closing pretty soon. Next class is going to be probably in early June. I need a bit of rest. I'm probably going to adopt a second kitty pretty soon. Not pretty soon, but probably in May. So I want to take a bit of time. Is it worth reworking project to add what is missing? I'm not a big fan of that because you're kind of faking the process. And our directors are going to sense that. So be a bit careful about that. You can see when you did something, you settled on one idea and you are faking the research and all of that before. So we'll rather gradually replace your old work by new one that has been done properly. Next question. Yeah, no problem, Ronald. Am I still giving feedback feedback to mentees on Fridays? Yes. Fridays and a bit of Saturday, depending on when I'm available. The thing is, I do not have the time to always do public feedback to them for two reasons. One, generally on Fridays and Saturday, I'm sporadically giving feedback because my days are busy. And also, every time I don't think a public portfolio, public feedback with them, I get twice as much submissions because it feels like a due date for everyone, and I'm getting swarmed. I'm starting to lose patience because some people are requesting feedback just for the sake of doing it, and it's counterproductive for both them and me. So I'm going to announce pretty soon. I can announce that already. How it's going to be with the feedback for the mentees. It's still going to happen, don't get me wrong. Don't be afraid about that. It's just that pretty soon, hopefully by mid-April, we're going to have some of the best former mentees who are going to deal with feedback to all the other mentees regarding technique. And I will be doing with design and portfolio stuff. So the way it's going to happen is that normally I should have 4 former mentees. One for realistic environment, one for stylized environment, same for characters, realistic and stylized. And at the end of the week, it's going to be like, okay, you pick all those who require feedback in your division. Let's say the realistic environment person, you pick all those who need feedback for realistic environment. You have this amount of budget of time per week, let's say 2 hours. You divide those 2 hours amongst each of them equally, and you focus on their rendering and their technique. And only that. This way I can deal with the feedback. It's going to be way shorter, and I won't have to repeat myself a zillion times per session about the same thing over and over again to everyone. So that's more feedback for the mentees, and that's less time for me, while still retaining the same quality, if not making it even better, because they are better than me at technique in their own specialty, and I can focus solely on design. So once this is in place, the feedback sessions are going to come back publicly, don't worry. I need to talk with the mentees pretty soon about what's happening behind the curtain on the business side. It's just that there's a fuck ton of things to do. I can already talk to you about that a bit if you want. I need to do the website to get my page for the mentorship and for studios to stop looking like a scam page from 2004. I'm aware of that. I know it looks ugly. Spoiler alert, I'm not a web designer. I'm shit at that. If any of you is a web designer, by the way, like a legit web designer, contact me. I might have work for you. I need to do that. I need to focus on ArtStation. We're going to make an ArtStation art drop pretty soon. We're going to focus on the rookies. The rookies are starting pretty soon, and we need to absolutely steamroll the competition on that thing. And I'm currently developing an offer for studios. I need to talk about that a bit. But the TLDR, let me show you if you want. Give me a sec. Training agency. So that's a complex graph right there. Imagine that like a timeline. This is when a studio needs someone. They're going to ask everyone, hey guys, in the studio, do you know someone who could do the job? It's going to last a certain amount of time. If they don't find anyone, they are posting a job offer. So that's the hiring phase. It's going to take some time. It starts to cost them HR and reviewer time and money. Let's say they hire someone. They have to wait for the person to be onboarded. So they are spending time and money to preparing the structure for the freshly hired artist. The artist joins the studio and they have to still train them for 3 to 6 months before they are becoming autonomous and start making money. It's not even profit. We are still in the break-even phase right there. What I'm currently developing for studios is that they have a need. I can recommend someone for them, and they can hire them. So let's say instead of 4 months needed, they can do it in a month. It costs them a very fractional cost of HR time. And then before they join the studio, I'm training that artist for the studio, so we minimize the internal training phase. It's always going to be easier and cheaper for a studio to be training someone externally and before they are onboarded, rather than waiting for them to join the studio, get the paycheck to roll, and train them internally with other artists that are costing a fortune. This way, we can maximize when the artist is turning profitable and can start delivering stuff to studios. That's the offer I'm currently working on. I'm in touch with a few studios to test it. It's very confidential. I cannot mention the studios yet, but they are trusting me to do that. And that's the next stage for the Artnest. It's to work almost like a job agency. You want someone from the Artnest? Sure, hire them. You hired someone, or you want me to still training them for you so they are super ready and you maximize the amount of profit you make with them as fast as possible, I'm there for you. So I'm literally acting like a middleman between studios and applicants. It takes a fuck ton of time. To do. So anything that can save me time right now is very, very crucial for me. I'm also negotiating a deal with, I cannot mention his name yet, but he's someone, is very, very important in the industry because he contributed to the creation of CG Society, the ancestor to ArtStation. And we are currently seeing if we could work together. The former creator of CG Society. They are building something new. It's pretty good. And we are complementing each other very well. And in addition to that, I got a proposal to sponsor Concept 101, which I'm probably going to do. This is not a confirmation yet, but it's very likely that The Artnest is going to be one of the main sponsors of Concept 101. And again, I cannot run a booth, portfolio reviews, network with pros, and answer questions with one person. So that's the stuff we are planning to do right now. That's it. Lot of things. So it's going to be busy, so forgive me if I'm a bit under the radar at the moment, if I'm shrinking the sizes of the class of the mentorship. I need to protect my time. Because the Artnest is growing. Or attempting to grow. But it should be good. Whew. Any final question, folks? Or can I leave? I did not even bother to comb my hair. I'm looking like I'm having a bird nest on my head right now. I apologize for that. I'm not home right now, so hence the landscape that was used before I moved. Sounds good, folks. All right. Yeah, that hair is messy right now. It's yeah, it's messy. All right. Talk to you soon, folks. As always, mentorship for April. Next one is going to be in June. I don't know when. So last call for it. Join the Discord. Share the stuff. Look at the pipeline process in the channels. Talk to you soon. Bye.